All right, guys, I'm gonna start. I saw that 1.5, these are gonna be some 1.5 questions, quadratic equations. Let's see up here. Quadratic equations. Awesome. This is also 1.5. Well, I know if I sound bland, it's because there's no one here and, you know, I'm just talking to an empty room. So I'm going to start off with question 6. 9x squared plus 9x plus 2 equals 0. And I want to use this moment to reinforce the AC method of the AC method. The AC method. So essentially, you know that you can have your A, B, C component, or whatever of the quadratic formula. You take the A and C component and multiply them together. So over here on the side, I'm going to say 9 times 2 is 18. And then we find out what multiples of 18 can add up to 9. So if we take, of course, 1 and 18 doesn't do anything. 2 and 9, we can say 3 and 6. And as you can see right here, 6 plus 3 equals that middle one. If you do that, then then you split the middle term into 2 of those x of the x component. So we have 9x squared plus 3x plus 6x plus 2. And then once again, if you know, and you already did it here, you added them together, but if you add that together, you get that same thing right there. And then now we use, in this step, this was the AC method, and in this step, we're gonna use the greatest common factor. Whenever there's 4 terms, we're gonna factor something out. So if we do that, in this first term, they have an x and a 9 common between them. So if I pull out, I said a 9, an x and a 3 common between them, I pull out a 3, and an x. Look at this. So 3 and an x, and we're left. Oh my goodness, we're left with a 3 and x. If you multiply that, you get a 9. You get an x squared plus 1 right there. That term in the middle, bring it on down. This guy, bring it on down. And then you can just assume that this is going to be the factor, or this is going to be the result over here in the same parentheses. You can just assume, because that's the, technically it works, if you do it right, it works out like that every time. So like, let's just go ahead and say 3 plus 1. Well, what would that imply? It means I would have had to have pulled a 2 out, right? Because 2, and then if we multiply by 2, voila, we get the 6x. All right, so erase this guy. Moving over here. Now, of course, this term right here becomes a factor of the whole thing. So if we pull this guy out, it leaves those two guys, right? So if I pull out 3x and 1, 3x plus 2 is what's left. And remember, this is still equal to 0. And if you just double check, you multiply the first, you FOIL this, just to double check, FOIL, you get your 9x squared. Then you do the outside, which is a 6x, inside, which is a 3x, that's your 9x, and then multiply outside 2, perfect. All right, when both of them are equal to 0, you set them both equal to 0, because if this term equals 0 and you have 0 multiplied by something, you would get 0. If this is 0 and you had something multiplied by 0, you would get 0. That's what allows you to kind of pull them apart. So you have 3x plus 1 equals 0, and a 3x plus 2 equals 0, and solve. So 1 moves over. There's the subtract 1 on both sides, right? 3x equals a -1. And then you divide both sides by that 3. X equals -1/3. Over here on this guy, same deal. Subtract both sides 2. 3x equals -2. Divide both sides by 3. All right, and then double check the old answer here. This is number 6, 1 point. And we are good. Green marker. I feel crazy talking about myself to the camera. Okay, then we have our x's out there. All right, so we used the AC method, greatest common factor. All right.